In other videos, we've looked at creating a notebook itself and linking one to Schoology. But now we want to add some sections and put some information onto our pages. So we're going to start by adding our first section. Let's call this Chapter 1. Now that I have a section, I want to add some pages. My first page is created for me. I'm going to call it Lesson 1. So in my blank page, I have a lot of options of things that I can insert into a OneNote. Because OneNote is online, you can add tables, files, pictures, links, audio recordings, you can get math assistance, you can even add math symbols, and even forms. The first thing is the most basic. When I click on the page, I can type. So typing all your information may not seem like a great idea. Plus you want your notebooks to stand out a little bit. So I'm going to go online and search a couple things that are examples that I can put into my notebook here. So the first one, I'm going to pull this essay on trees. I copy this section of information that I want from online, and then I simply paste it on here like I would any other Word document. Let's go ahead and correct that T. If there's something I want to delete from this page, I simply highlight it and then use the delete key or the backspace key like I would with any other Word document. But we can make a digital notebook a bit more interactive. Let's start by adding a link to a text rather than posting the whole article. So I'm going to create a link and I'm going to link it right to this article. So I copy the URL and paste it right in here, and you'll see it shows up as a hyperlink right on my page. In this way, you can create a lot of resources on one page for your students. But what if you have an actual file you want to attach? Go to Insert, and we're going to insert the file attachment. I can insert it as a file itself or as a printout where students can read it right on their notebook. If I'm adding it as a file, I simply select the file I want, and you'll see that it shows up here as an option on the page. When students click this, it will open and they can read it, or they could download the page to refer to later. In this way, OneNote can work similar to a binder. If I opt to insert a file as a printout, again, I go to Insert, File, and Insert File as a printout, and you'll see that it creates the same link to the source up here at the top, but there's a printout of the actual article right below. Now students can read or annotate. To annotate, students come up to the Draw tab, and they can select the highlighter or the pencil, and here they can interact directly with the text in a digital space. So they can highlight things that are important or things that they want to remember for later, or they can use the pencil to circle things, underline, label diagrams, anything like that. And in this way, OneNote works very similar to a paper printout. So let's take a look at some more options of things that OneNote can do for us. I'm going to go ahead and delete these pages. And now remember when I could text earlier, it's important to know that OneNote will allow me to type anywhere. I can type over here, and then I could move this text anywhere that I want. So OneNote has a benefit over a traditional word processing software. There are some other options that I have to insert, so let's delete this text and go back to Insert. We've tried files, and we've looked at tables. So now let's insert a picture. I can upload from my computer, from my camera, or search online. I'm going to find a picture of a tree to go with our article here, and I click Insert. The picture is pasted right onto my notebook page. Now that I have my picture, just like with my text, I can grab it and move it anywhere that I would want, like that. And in this way, I can organize my notebook to be unique to my needs. If I want to get rid of the picture, I select it and choose Delete. I have an option for entering audio onto my page. This is really useful if a teacher wants to put a voice recording onto a notebook page, or if a student has a project they're working on that they would like to record. When I'm done recording, I simply select Stop, and my audio file is saved right on my page. OneNote also allows for math symbols and Math Assistant. Math Assistant can be turned off if it's a concern for you and you don't want your students to have access to it. One final note that I could add onto my notebook pages are Microsoft Forms. These go directly onto my page and are completely interactive. So when I select Forms, I can create a new form or quiz, or I could choose from a previously made option to insert or edit. If I choose one of my forms and select Insert, you'll see that the Microsoft form is placed directly onto my notebook page. This is a live document that will collect data, and anytime I move away from that page and come back, my form stays put. So I could use this for exit slips for my students. I could give them quizzes, assessments, anything like that. And in this way, Microsoft OneNote allows me a great deal of interaction with my students.